His wife told him, "I have finally found my husband again after 7 years." Hey everybody, David here from the Plant Medicine for PTSD podcast. It is currently Monday evening, which means I just wrapped up our men's call. If you're not familiar, I think that most men's groups are fucking lame. So we don't just have a men's circle in our community, we have a men's rectangle, all right? So every Monday night, all the dudes in our program and in our community get together. For the most part, it's pretty unstructured. We're just kind of sharing whatever shit's been going on that week. I go around, I check in with everybody. Usually somebody has something going on. And today was actually really, really cool because we had 3 people who joined. It was interesting. They joined all around the same time, but outside of our regular cohorts. And so they all just started microdosing kind of around the same period. And so in this group, we had people who came on a retreat with us a year ago and then went through our programs. They've been working with us for a year. We've had some people who've been microdosing on and off for 2 years on that call. We've had some people who used our program to integrate from ketamine sessions, to integrate from ayahuasca sessions. And then we had some folks on there who've just been in our program for about 4 months. And then these dudes who just started microdosing the other day. And it was actually really cool. One of these guys, who I'm going to tell you about in a second, he had some issues getting the medicine delivered to him. Yeah, fucking Canada Post sucks. So we always have this first phase where we lay the foundation to start microdosing, where in that period we are building habits, we're building routines, we are cultivating a little bit of a relationship with ourselves, getting into a little bit of journaling, learning about intention setting, learning about affirmations. And for this guy, we extended that phase a little bit because the medicine just didn't show up at his door for a couple of weeks. And it was awesome because just being in this environment with these other guys, and everyone, the ladies too, on our Friday calls and everything, but being around these other people, it had already started to shift this guy's mindset about a few things. So I'm not going to share too many personal details, but he's an RCMP officer, so Canadian police officer, off work with PTSD, just pretty much hanging around the house all day. He's got a couple of kids, he's got a wife at home. He's just home all day, really doing nothing other than smoking weed to keep his anxiety at bay and working on renovations at his house. He's been in the program now for a little while, getting ready. The medicine finally came, and he just finished his 4th day in a row of microdosing today. I was asking him how he was doing, and I knew that it was going to go well, but honestly, I didn't expect it to be this amazing right off the bat. Literally, the first thing that he said is that his wife told him, "I have finally found my husband again after 7 years." 7 years because he's been a cop for all this time and has had severe fucking PTSD from day one, really. So his wife, I'm not going to say that she was skeptical of this, but the microdosing program is a very novel thing for the wife of a cop, right? For her to say, "I finally found my husband again after 7 years," she wanted him to sign up for this program before coming to our retreat because she was skeptical about all this. She was pretty hesitant to give the green light on all the money that he would spend and the time away from the family and everything. I think it's pretty safe to say that she is on board with our fucking program at this point. So this dude told me that his partner from work, where he was in this incident where he got, let's just say somebody got stabbed at work. His partner from that incident called him, and they had to go over a few things, some paperwork stuff. She needed a few things from him. So normally just that alone would fucking send him over the edge anxiety-wise. So he was able to take her call, talk to her, just no factor, everything was totally fine. The next day, it was a Saturday, he went out to the mall with his wife and his 2 little kids. Fucking people everywhere going shopping on a Saturday morning. Again, normally he would have to be stoned out of his mind just to deal with that, and he would be just he would be shot the rest of the day from dealing with that. Hypervigilance, just fucking level 10, right? He said he was able to just hang out at the mall with his kids, just go shopping, no factor. Just go home, go about his day just like normal. He said the nicest thing, obviously it was nice hearing what his wife said, but for him, the nicest thing was to have the volume turned down on all of the voices in his head, like all the thoughts, all the rumination, all the fucking chatter that goes on in his brain, and to just be able to focus on the one task in front of him. That was his favorite part of that whole experience. Again, normally he has to just smoke weed constantly. In Canada, they just throw weed at you. But he has to smoke weed constantly just to be able to focus on one thing at a time and kind of shut down all the noise in his brain. So he said he smoked considerably less weed while he was microdosing because he didn't need to shut the volume down on all those thoughts in his brain. He said that the effect kind of wore off throughout the day because he doesn't sleep very much, so he wakes up pretty early, goes to bed pretty late. So by the end of the night, he actually noticed some of that mental chatter had kind of come back in. So, he slept pretty solidly, but not like amazingly. And unfortunately, it didn't really affect his migraines too much, which I was really hoping that it would. So that was kind of a bummer. We'll see maybe in the future playing with dosage, maybe it has some effect, stacking it with a few other like functional mushrooms potentially. We're looking at getting him hooked up with an acupuncturist as well to support that. So that was like one kind of bummer. But one of the other things that he said that was so cool is that even though the medicine wore off towards the end of the day, during the morning and afternoon when his kids were awake, when his kids were awake and when he was around them, he said he was present. He said, I was there and I was able to have fun with them. And he said, that's exactly what he told me when he signed up for this program. That's exactly what he wanted. He spent the last decade really not being there for his kids. He described it as being home, being off from work all this time. I was like, how is that? And he's like, yeah, I'm trying to get to know these little people that live in my house, meaning his children. Because all of his adult life, he just went off to work and his wife was raising his kids at home and he just wasn't there, dude. He would be gone all the time. And when he was there, he was asleep, or when he was awake and around his kids, he was pretty much just fucked off in his own head, like zoning out, looking at his phone or watching TV or smoking weed to turn down the volume on all the bullshit in his mind. So for him, that was pretty fucking amazing. Again, a little bit of a bummer that it didn't fix his migraine. I wish that I could sit here and tell you that 4 days of microdosing magically changed every single problem this dude has. Doesn't quite work like that. I'm sorry for misspeaking a little bit as well. It's been a long day of talking to people, but I wanted to record this while it was fresh in my brain right after this call. So there is your overheard in healing this week. Definitely not always sunshine and rainbows like this one was, but this was just fucking awesome, man. Of this guy, all these problems, man, with his health, with his PTSD, smoking so much weed just to deal with it. Basically cooped up in his basement, hiding from the world all day. To have his wife say, I finally found my husband again after 7 years. And to have him say that I was finally able to just have fun with my kids during the day. Dude, that touches your heart, doesn't it? That's why we do this shit, man. It's awesome. I was so fucking stoked for this dude. So, with that said, I'm going to call it a night. It's late over here. You can probably see the fucking bags under my eyes despite this beautiful light setup that Cordy has going. I'm going to go eat some pasta and go to sleep. You stay tuned for the next episode of this. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I don't know what you're doing with your life if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, give it a rating, give it a review. It costs you nothing. It helps somebody else out there find this who needs this. So go take care of that. Till next time, peace out.